And we'll continue in our program. And I'm looking forward now to the presentation of Highlander Silver. Ron Stewart will be joining us, and they're exploring a silver polymetallic project in Peru. And Ron, we've had on SF Live before. Like, he's a former analyst, somebody I really engage with, and really have a great time listening to as well, because he knows the sector like nobody else. He does a lot of peer metrics as well. But today we're going to talk Highlander Silver. And Ron, it's great to have you on. Kindly turn on your camera, and thanks for joining us.
So thank you everyone for joining us. I'd like to introduce you to Highlander Silver. We're a new company focused on silver-led and precious metals opportunities in Peru. Really appreciate Kai and his team for hosting this. We'll see. Okay, everybody knows about the disclaimer. You can't believe anything that I say. Highlander Silver is a small cap company that we formed last year, about mid-August last year, through a reverse takeover transaction of a company called Lido, using a private co called CapEx that was formed in Peru by one of our main directors and a good friend of mine. We're a silver dominant company, and we're geographically focused on Latin America. Peru is our center of gravity, but we're looking in project opportunities elsewhere in the South American Andes. The team is made up of myself and Stephen Broman. He's our CFO. Phil Anderson is the main guy that was put this all together. He's an explorer, an American citizen that has been transplanted down to Latin America for the last 15, 20 years. I worked with Phil, it was about 20 years ago. He and I first hooked up looking at deposits and opportunities in Latin America, mainly Peru. Really good geo. He's got a good long track record of finding things and making discoveries. Our board includes Fabian Baker. Fabian is the leader of a company called King's Rose, an Australian listed company that has a project up in Finland. He's had some previous success with Tethian Resources, and before that, Lydian in Armenia. Nate Brewer joined our board. Nate is a long-time exploration professional that worked with Goldfields. He was instrumental in the discovery of Solaris Norte, one of Goldfields' great high sulfidation epithermal targets down in northern Chile. Nate brings a wealth of experience to the team. And Hannah Jin, a young, very bright professional geologist based out of Vancouver, rounds out our board. She came over from the Lido side of the equation. So that's the team that's involved in Highlander right now. We are, like I say, a small cap company. We've got 60 million shares outstanding, about 19 million warrants that are priced at 25 cents. So they're right on the current share price. Those warrants expire in about mid-year 2023. So right now we've got a fully diluted market cap, or fully diluted share count, about 80 million shares, and about $3.5 million in the till. When we merged, we put together our year-end financials just recently. Our year-end is September 30th. The number was about the same, $3.5 million. As of December, we'll be putting out our December quarterlies in a couple of weeks before the end of February. And so that number is going to go down a little bit because of the 3-4 months of exploration work since then. Shareholding structure is very good. Dan Earl and a strategic investor came in when we did the RTO. So they're major shareholders. We had a large group of industry professionals and kind of people who knew the business that backed Phil Anderson in CapEx as a private co. So we've got a really strong shareholding base of some very, very switched on people. Our main project is Alta Victoria. Alta Victoria is located in the western Cordillera of Peru. It's got great access from Lima. It's about a 2.5-hour drive up one of the major roads out of Lima. And it's sitting in an area that is known for very, very good, high grade, high tonnage, world class, really, silver, lead, zinc deposits. You can see I've got a couple on the slide. You can look at it on our website. But Uchichara to the north, it's basically 300 million ounces of silver run by Buenaventura. There's a couple of Pan American operations in the district. All of these mines are located adjacent to a major suture that runs north-south through Peru in some limestone terrain just to the west of it. So we're in the right neighborhood for highly prospective opportunity to find a major silver, lead, zinc deposit. Alta Victoria itself it's a grassroots project. There's historic mining on the property. That area that you see in the image from Santa Teresita through to Victoria is about 2.5 kilometers apart. Those are all old workings, surface workings. We've got geochem, silver, lead, zinc geochemistry in a series of folded volcaniclastic or sediments and limestones and siliclastic sediments. They are folded as you move towards the east to the Alpamarca fault. So there's a series of splay faults that come off the Altamarca that provide the plumbing for a major deposit. We see good styles of mineralization on the property associated with those structures. We have done some IP geophysics and found a major chargeability anomaly in the sedimentary terrain that rips up the center axis of our deposit. That IP chargeability anomaly is about 5.5 kilometers long. We're having that reinterpreted right now and looking at doing some more close spaced IP work, as well as we had recently completed a gravity survey and I found some very interesting anomalies between the two primary target areas that we call Santa Teresita and the Ponchos area to the north. This slide shows the styles of mineralization that we've identified on surface. At Santa Teresita to the south, we can see mineralization that's hosted in structures, veins, breccias, and manto-style structures that are associated with manganese, oxide manganese. That type of mineralization is identical or similar to what you see at Uchichara, the 300 million ounce deposit to the north of us. So we're really quite excited about the opportunity to see that style of mineralization, the same association on our property, as we know that is very productive to the north. The Ponchos target area appears to be more manto style type mineralization in west dipping stratigraphy, sedimentary stratigraphy. We've got a broad area of good geochemical anomalism that is coincident with that chargeability anomaly that I showed you earlier, together with the more recent gravity work that we've done, which shows some very interesting gravity anomalies that have a shallow dip and follow the stratigraphy. So on surface, we know that the mineralization is exposed at surface in limestone beds and mantos, and we've been able to sample those. There's been some historic little diggings historically. The Victoria mine to the south near the Samba project, there was a little mine there. That whole area has not been tested. And when you look at the size of this area, it's about 2.5 kilometers, like I say, from Santa Teresita through north to the Ponchos area. There's a lot of room for opportunity there. We're going to move on to our new acquisition. We acquired this property in an option agreement just last month. It's called POLITUNCHE. It's located about 15 kilometers southwest of Alta Victoria. POLITUNCHE was an area that was historically explored by a company called Solitario back in 2007 through 2011. This is volcanic terrain. So instead of the sedimentary terrain that we've got at Alta Victoria, we're looking at andesitic volcanics together with pyroclastic rocks. Some widespread mineralization on this property. It was defined by a color anomaly, really. When you go out there, you can see widespread quartz sericite pyrite alteration throughout the entire volcaniclastic sequence of rocks. There's a spine that runs up the center, which we believe are volcanic centers or volcanic domes, and widespread mineralization across the property. It appears that there's an earlier phase of silver lead zinc mineralization that is then overprinted by a gold rich zone, maybe an epithermal gold rich zone telescope on the northern margin of the property. We've been out there now just for a little over 2 months, and we're starting to pick up an awful lot of really good high grade silver lead zinc numbers together with gold numbers that illustrate to us that there's some real good potential for a discovery on this property. There's some historic mining that's been done, a couple of areas that just little diggings on structures with high grade values. You can see on the left the Amate prospect, 500 grams per ton silver with associated lead and zinc. A mine dump area where we picked up some samples that are running 250 plus grams per ton silver. This is a summary map of the historic work that was done by Solitario. They drilled 11 holes, reported 7 of those holes. They all had some decent mineralization in narrow structures. What's intriguing to us about this is that they drilled 4 holes off to the north on the area that has some geochemical soil anomalism. But in the center of that map, there's a major gold in soil anomaly that measures about 250 meters north-south by about 650 meters east-west, roughly east-west, that hasn't been drilled at all. Our work has been focused on that area, and we're coming up with some very intriguing gold numbers out of that that we expect to be able to release something within the next couple of weeks that will show the work that we're doing to follow up on this. We think that this offers a real good opportunity for potentially a bulk mineable gold target or high-grade structural type target at the margin between the volcanics and the volcaniclastics. So there's a summary of POLITUNCHE. Don't really want to go through too much of it, other than the deal to get 100% is really quite easy. We've got, we're going to pay $5,000 a month over the course of the next 4 years, and then a balloon payment out the back end of 1.6 to get 100% of the property. We're really quite excited about what this offers. And I'm going to wrap up here with the fact that this is our work plan for the year. Alta Victoria will amend our drill permit to include the area of the Ponchos target, and then initiate a 5,000 meter drill program about mid-year this year. POLITUNCHE will follow along. We expect to be able to be drilling that towards the back end of the year. And as I said, we're continuing to look for good opportunities to transform the company within the Latin American focused area.
Fantastic.
I think I'll leave it there.
Yeah, I got to jump in because unfortunately we're out of time, but the questions keep piling up in the Q&A part. So if you could go jump in there and answer those with your keyboard at least, that'd be highly appreciated, Ron. Great presentation. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And we need to catch up again on SF Live very soon as well. So we can go into some more of the details of the exploration programs, funding, and all the good opportunities that you see out there as well, of course. Fantastic. Thanks so much for joining us, Ron.